Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you clicking on that video as always. Today we are back with the 25th episode of my weekly wears, where every week I go over all the fragrances that I wore for each day, all 7 days. If this is your first time finding the channel, welcome. On this channel we talk about all things fragrance. I do weekly wears, I do first impressions videos, reviews, lists. We have it all here. I appreciate you stopping by. Without further ado, let's get into the list. I feel like I had a good selection this week. Lots of great fragrances. Let's get started. So I'm pretty much picking up where I left off last week, and it's not often that I wear a fragrance back-to-back days. On Saturday of last week, I wore this fragrance, and I wore it again on Sunday. Scent I'm talking about, Mancera's Cedrat Boise. So late Saturday afternoon, my wife and I drove to New York City because we were meeting a breeder to pick up our new pup that we added to the family. His name is Fred. I'll put a picture right here so you guys can see him. He's amazing. The kids love him. We love him already. He's been here a week and he's a Frenchie. They're amazing dogs. So we drove to New York and I brought one fragrance with me, and it was Cedrat Boise. It was kind of a last minute trip. The breeder was actually supposed to drive the dog down to us. The air conditioning failed in his truck. So we said, you know what, instead of waiting for him to resolve this issue that he had with the car, let's just go pick him up. We're about a little over 4 hours away. So not a bad drive, and it was worth it to meet our new pup. We knew that we were gonna probably go out to dinner. We only stayed over one night. We wanted to go somewhere in the city. I figured, you know what, this is sort of a Swiss Army knife fragrance. First of all, I do understand why a lot of reviewers, a lot of YouTubers will sort of point to this when they say, if you want to get into niche, or you want to get into the niche space and you want to try to get away from designers a bit and try something niche, I get it. This is definitely different than most designer fragrances. As a matter of fact, I don't know many designers, if any, that smell like this. One obvious comparison is Creed Aventus, and I talked a little bit about that in my last video, where I don't think this smells like Creed Aventus. This, I bought initially a 10 ml decant, and the first time I smelled this, I was like, wow. It wasn't the first niche fragrance that I had smelled, but it's the first niche fragrance that is different enough, and it's also sort of easy to wear. This thing is just beautiful, really fruity with some smokiness. Honestly, I think this is a bit smokier than my batch of Creed Aventus. That's what I love about it. And it's super versatile. You can wear this to dinner. You can wear this during the day, in the evening, whatever. This is gonna work, and it smells incredible. And I get really good performance from this. I know some people claim that the newer formulations don't perform as well as the old formulations. I don't know. I don't own an older formulation. However, this one lasts. I get 8 to 10 hours every time I wear it, and it's just incredible. Absolutely love this scent. Wore it on Sunday. Mancera's Cedrat Boise. On Monday, I was feeling like I wanted to smell like a barbershop, fresh and clean. I just shaved. I said, let me grab this one. Absolutely incredible scent. One of the best values for your money. Scent I'm talking about, Azzaro Pour Homme Nighttime. If you haven't smelled Azzaro Pour Homme Nighttime, there's a super realistic rhubarb note up top. It's juicy, it's citric, it's earthy, it's incredible. It sticks around for about 15-20 minutes. That's the only drawback. I wish it lasted longer. However, this dries down into your typical sort of barbershop aromatic fougere. Really spicy, really aromatic, really green, clean smelling, shaving foam type smell. Really just well-rounded. I think I paid $10 for this at Marshall's on markdown. It was a red tag and I got lucky, but you can still find this really cheap. This is usually under $20 on discounters. Really versatile. You can wear this to the office. You can wear this out at night. It obviously bears the name Nighttime, which would make you believe that this is really only suitable for the night, where I do agree that this would be a fantastic night out scent. It's not limited to that. It does have some sweetness to it, along with that spiciness and the woodiness and the dry down. As far as longevity goes, it's middle of the road. Average longevity, I get about maybe 6 hours from this. I can't complain. I mean, $10 for a really well-blended, well-rounded, non-cheap smelling aromatic fougere that doesn't get talked about enough. I think this is an absolute underrated gem. Azzaro Pour Homme Nighttime. On Tuesday, I went with a scent that, in my opinion, is one of the better rack store pickups you can get. If you see this, grab it. It's a no-brainer, in my opinion. Scent I'm talking about is Banana Republic's Black Walnut Legend. If you're on a severe budget, this is going to do the trick in most situations for you. Citrusy, fresh, smells a lot like Creed Aventus in the opening. However, I think this dries down and goes in another direction. It becomes more soapy. I paid literally almost next to nothing for this at a Burlington. Has Calabrian, bergamot, kumquat, incense, geranium. This, like I said, it does smell quite a bit like Creed Aventus. It's really smooth. You don't get a blast of perfume as alcohol. It is just really well done. I wish it lasted longer, but for what I paid, and really you can overspray this. This is an easy dumb reach overspray type scent. It's a softer scent. It doesn't project massively, but that's what I like about this one. Fragrantica has a black leather note listed with this, and I don't get really any leather from it. But what I do get is that brightness from the bergamot and just a beautiful soapy musk. No brainer. As I said, paid very little. Longevity, not great, but I don't mind overspraying it, spraying it on my clothes. And I also wear this one to bed as well. Wore this on Tuesday. Banana Republic's Black Walnut Legend. So on Wednesday, it was a rainy, sort of dreary day. And when I see rain and it's a bit humid, the note in fragrance that I tend to go towards is vetiver. So on Wednesday, I went with Terre de Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver. Just really juicy citrus up top, bergamot, lemon, and grapefruit. And mostly vetiver is what I get from this scent. I do get in the dry down what more closely resembles the OG Terre de Hermes, which I do like. However, this is probably my favorite in the line. It's the most interesting to me. The first time I had smelled this, it was a little too intense, for lack of a better term. I think it was a little bit too earthy, too dirt smelling, rooty. But I got really used to it, and I grew to love it and really appreciate for what it is. I tested Eau Grivé through a sample. I talked about it, I want to say, in another Weekly Wears video. That's a close second for me right now. I've never tried Eau Fraiche, but I know that those two are sort of compared to one another. I'd like to try Eau Fraiche, but at the moment, this is my favorite, then Grivé, and then probably the OG. Just a classy scent. Fantastic versatility, office safe, date night safe, everyday safe, signature scent type stuff. The sillage of this is great. It's gorgeous. I get wafts of this all day long. And as I said, that intense opening to this, that darker, more intense vetiver, take on vetiver, doesn't last the entire time. However, I do wish it lasted a little bit longer. This is impressive and absolutely love this scent. Wore it on Wednesday. Terre de Hermes Eau Intense Vetiver. So on Thursday, I was testing out a fragrance. I actually filmed a video for this particular fragrance. I'll be sure to link it here so you guys can watch it if you haven't already. It was a first impressions video of a new designer release from the house of Tom Ford. Scent I'm talking about, Tom Ford Noir Extreme Parfum. Now, this is just a decant. I don't have the bottle. However, I did wear it that day, and I have more thoughts on it. Leathery, warm and spicy, vanillic, borderline gourmandy to me. However, I think with the amount of amber and leather in this that I get from it, it pulls it back from being, it's not as sweet as the OG. Going into the mid and the dry down, I get way more florals, which also sort of pulls it back from becoming gourmandy. However, the vanilla is very it's a sort of delicious vanilla. It's reminiscent of a dessert. There is a kulfi note in this, which is an Indian ice cream. This has a nuttiness to it. I really enjoy this scent. I think it's really well done. I am a fan of the OG. I would say that I do enjoy this one more. This just suits my taste a bit more. I would argue that this could really be more versatile than the OG. I think the OG does lean way more gourmand to me than this. As I said, the leather being a more prominent note here along with the amber. It also has a bit of an aromatic touch to it, almost a soapy, clean undertone. which I quite enjoy. Not crazy about the florals. I like them. They sort of play sort of a background role. There are times where they're the strongest thing I smell. It changes, it evolves as I wear it, and there are times where I find myself really enjoying it, and then there are other times where I'm like, not crazy about it. But what I have to be honest about is what I'm least crazy about when it comes to this fragrance is the price. Now, with many Tom Fords, you have the quality. You have the prestige of a Tom Ford fragrance. I was a bit disappointed in the longevity. It lasted, the deep dry down lasted quite a while, but it was nothing special. It wasn't anything really incredible. I just basically got a woody vanilla dry down. So in terms of the performance and the price you pay, it's not ideal. But as I said, the scent itself is really nice, really like the scent. Will I be purchasing a full bottle? Probably not. There is just better ways for me to spend $185 or so, and I'll look up the price and see if I can include it here. There's more fragrances that I would enjoy more for that price. Wore it on Thursday, Tom Ford's Noir Extreme Parfum. So on Friday, I went with a scent that was actually sent to me by a subscriber, Chandler, and Chandler's been a huge supporter of my channel since the beginning, so shout out to Chandler. But this scent, absolutely incredible, super under the radar. Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense. Guys, fruity, a bit spicy, warm, ambery. I get a leather note from this, although it's not an official note in the breakdown. The apple in this mixed with the saffron and the spice and the vanilla and the patchouli. I get a lot of patchouli as well. There is oud in this, and to me, I guess you could call it a slight medicinal oud. I just get a more complex woodiness to this. So it's not traditionally what I associate with oud. It's a very unique oud, in my opinion, but it just works beautifully with the apple note, as I said, the saffron in this, along with the patchouli, the sweetness from the pink pepper. This is a more versatile scent than I think the bottle might lead you to believe, or than even the notes in this. I obviously wore it during the day, so I think this could work beautifully in the fall and winter, but also the springtime. I think the spring will work. This is a great transitional scent. I can see this being worn to the office and then out for that evening. Maybe you're going to have drinks with some coworkers, or you're meeting your significant other for dinner. This scent is going to work really in any situation that you find yourself in, particularly in those seasons that I mentioned. With as beautiful as the opening is, I'm as satisfied with the dry down, and that's not common for me with fragrance. There's a lot of times where you love the opening and the dry down is just meh, or vice versa. I find myself really enjoying this from start to finish, and you don't hear this talked about a lot. I would have never heard of this had Chandler not sent this to me. I do blind buy from time to time, and I typically go based on notes and what other reviewers that I trust say about the fragrance. So if it's something I'm interested in, I might research it a bit. Longevity, I get about 6 to 7 hours. The deep dry down lasts quite a bit, and it's beautiful. I absolutely love this scent, and this will be getting a ton of wear this fall and winter. Brioni Eau de Parfum Intense. Finally, on Saturday, I went with one of my favorite scents in my collection and one of my favorite from the house. Kind of underrated in my opinion, doesn't get talked about a lot. Creed's Himalaya. Calabrian bergamot, Sicilian lemon, bright, juicy, fruity citrus, sandalwood, signature Creed ambergris note, cedar, and musk. This is not a complex scent. It has a cooling effect to it. It is super classy, super clean smelling, versatile, a bit soapy, really masculine, really gentlemanly. It has a crispness to it. The bottle, the name, it evokes the story this fragrance is trying to tell. It works. It absolutely works. When I first smelled this scent, I couldn't stop thinking about it. I had smelled it and said, I need a bottle of that. I had tested it out, I want to say, at maybe a Bloomingdale's or something. Neiman Marcus, something like that. I had it on my skin and I just kept going back to it. One drawback to this is it doesn't last very long. I get about maybe 5 or 6 hours from it. So if the longevity is not great, you might say, well, you're spending all this money. As a matter of fact, go to Vemba Fragrance, use my code GG10 to save 10%. They usually have this in stock for a great price. You don't have to pay retail for this. When people are talking about the House of Creed, I think it gets a lot of hate because of its prices. Some say their fragrances don't last very long. The quality is incredible on this scent. You can get it for under retail. So you have to sort of do your homework and find good prices for it. What I paid for this, well worth it. This just puts me in a good mood when I wear it. It's uplifting, it's bright. My wife loves this one. Whenever I spray this and it's still sort of lingering in the air, she's like, what is that one you just sprayed? I love that one. A lot of times it's Creed Himalaya. So wore this on Saturday. Creed Himalaya. As always, guys, let me know in the comment section below what your weekly rotation was, whether you wore 7 fragrances, 10, or 1. I'd like to know what you guys wore. Let me know in the comment section below. If you like what you saw today, I would greatly appreciate if you drop a like on this video, share, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so you're updated whenever I upload new content. But until then, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you in the next video.